because Minnesota's parks and trails are amazing any time of year for almost any kind of person. For example, some folks aren't interested in the restful quiet of Glacial Lakes State Park campgrounds. They want exercise. They want to cover a little land, go places, on their bicycles. And there are lots of places in Minnesota where folks can do just that. Many of them are former railroad rights-of-way, where trains tripped between towns before the highway system was built. The Central Lakes Trail starts, or ends, depending on which way you're pedaling, in Alexandria.
We're at the trailhead at Big Ole in Alexandria for the Central Lakes Trail, which runs from Fergus Falls to Osakis, Minnesota.
How many riders?
We all ready to go?
Ben Eckhoff is a naturalist for 3 Minnesota state parks and Central Lakes Trail. Once a month, he leads a bike ride along the Central Lakes Trail.
The Central Lakes Trail lays on the old railroad bed from the Burlington Northern Railroad. In 1992, the state purchased the land and started doing segments of the trail. And finally, in 2005, the 55-mile-long trail has been completed and since gets used by bicyclists, strollers, walkers, inline skaters, runners of all types. So what can you see along the Central Lakes Trail? It's very nice to be able to take a bike ride along and see the remnants of the old native prairie that was there long before what we know it as now as the railroad or the trail. You can see lead plant, purple prairie clover, purple prairie coneflower. Lots of those native prairie remnants have been stored in the land for a long time, and with the right opportunities, whether from natural disasters or fires or mowing, has stimulated the growth of those plants, and you can see those as you're biking along the trail, especially west of Alexandria. Speaking of the butterfly, there's one right.
We don't have dark snakes like we used to.
Today, as a partnership with the Parks and Trails Division of the DNR, I did a program called Come Ride With Me. You ask the question as we're going, or if it justifies stopping, like that hawk did, then we will stop and look at the hawk, and you can ask questions, and I have field guides and things you can work with. But that's kind of the idea today, so if you have anything you want to know about, please just let me know and we'll go from there. So, awesome. Thanks for coming, everybody. Once a month during the summer, from May through September, I lead a ride for casual and family riders. We start here in Alexandria and ride west towards Garfield. Each ride gets greater in difficulty or in length. As the trail is really flat, it doesn't really go up and down. It's not difficulty in terrain, but in distance. So today we bike ride about 12 miles. This bike rider event is free. You come with me, the naturalist here for the Alexandria area, and I will point things out to you along the way. And it's a chance for people to get out and ask questions about what they're seeing on the trail, ask a little bit about park or trail history, and all those questions about nature that they're seeing in the area that they've always wanted to know. So this is all, obviously we're riding on the old railroad bed, and so there was seeds. This was all native prairie at one point, but then we've introduced along with the railroad and kind of changing some of that, and then the housing as well. But you can tell, like with the lead plant, the purple prairie clover, that stuff isn't really seeded. That stuff is here. It's been in the ground for a long time, and that's the one unique thing about areas is you turn over an area that hasn't been turned over before, that seed's been laying in the ground for 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever years, and just waits till it gets the right situation and it can come up. Looks like it's from the, back in the dinosaur age, yeah, for sure. But horsetail, segmented, very unique plants. Horsetail? There's a lot of bike clubs, but there's actually the Central Lakes Trail Association. They have a website, and they plan all the events, and so there's events on the Central Lakes Trail, different types of rides, and they try to cater to all difficulty or ability levels of riding where they're at, from beginners to, pretty advanced. Some hard work went into planning and gathering old photographs and historical information with the partnership of Douglas Historical Society to create these kiosks and maps for people at each of the 10 natural stopping points, which are those communities in the area. So each community that you go through now, as of the spring, there's one of these placards, and they all look basically identical except for the information. So you can pick out that it belongs here with the Central Lakes Trail. They have the nice distance markers, so because there's not real good mile markers along the trail, you can tell if you get on here at Garfield, oh, and I want to go to Alexandria, down and over, it's about 8 miles. So my favorite spot on the trail is the section from Alexandria going west towards Garfield. The reason it's my favorite is that you're going through and you're starting by Big Ole in Alexandria and at Field City, and within about the first half mile you exit that and enter right into the mixed hardwood forest and lakes, some wetlands, and then you go into that prairie area. So this is a very nice ride of diversity through that about 10-mile stretch from Alexandria to Garfield, where you can see a variety of plants and animals in their natural habitats. The Central Lakes Trail is a great opportunity for local or visitors to come out and ride on a trail where you're not riding right on the shoulder of a major highway or county road, and you get off and you get to see a lot of the lakes and the streams and prairies and rolling hills that are off in the distance that you can enjoy, and it feels like you're just taking a stroll through the woods on your bike, but yet you're very close to roads at most points because they parallel. But there's a nice buffer there, so you can ride from community to community, and it's a great way for people to get out and get some exercise and enjoy the scenery.